So now I'm just going to go to YouTube real quick.
Can you see me?
I don't think so. I'm in another. I'm not looking at that right now. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
my
get to
camera's
YouTube
good.
to get the link. And we're live. There's the link. Share, copy, close this down, and just drop the link in the chat real quick. And all right. So I don't see you. My camera's purposely off, but yours is
No,
something's
and my
wrong. You
camera
got
went out like.
it's probably some
I
setting
have
or
no
button or
idea.
something. It happens to me all the time, but it's okay. Because I wasn't planning on turning my
Well,
camera on
and
today
normally
either.
you
I
can see
haven't
me
taken.
on the lives, which is fine.
But we're
I
live.
want to get.
So, and we dropped the link.
Well,
So,
that's
good
good.
morning, guys. Welcome to the February 4th version of the Inner Circle Live Edition. Um, Natasha is prepared. Well, we're both prepared with some charts that we want to look at. We have some contracts. I know I have some contracts. I'm assuming Natasha has some contracts. And so we will be here until 11 a.m. today and every day. And I will allow Miss Natasha to get started.
All right. So, what I'm looking at this morning, I kind of started my morning by looking at, do we have anything going on in the news? Is there anything notable? And then I kind of moved on to looking at what has earnings coming up. I'm sure that you guys saw the astronomical move on Palantir yesterday, which is, sorry I missed it. But we have earnings coming up for Align tomorrow after the close. And when I was looking through the list, it stuck out because I have seen it move very good after earnings. So that's the chart that I wanted to start looking at today, where I wanted to start my day. We are up a little bit in pre-market, and I'm looking for an earnings play here. That's the monthly. Go back down to the 4 hour because that's where this was drawn. But if we're looking, what we see, and you can see all the way back here, it went to 246. That was over. Actually, that wasn't too long ago. This was in December. So there was something for that, but we're looking for levels. But what you do see here, over the days, it's traded in and out of the averages, your moving averages, and it looks set up quite nicely sitting here at the 7-1 for a potential move back to the 382. So I'll be stalking the 230 strike price, and may potentially look at what we have up here at the 245 level. If earnings are good, we could absolutely see it get back here. The only problem I see with that is trading a weekly. This would be a further out move. But like I said, if we look at the earnings, it's had some pretty good movement on earnings here and here. So that's what I've got there. And just so you know, part of the appeal of this, whenever I'm looking at an earnings play, I also look to see what other stocks should move in tandem with it. Align is a little bit different because they're more of a niche market. They are the think Invisalign. Exactly. Like that would be their business, that low cost, clear aligner space. And right now they don't have another competitor. Um, and they have a consistent they have a consistent track record of beating earnings. They have beat the last 4 quarters in a row, and I don't expect anything to change here. You have any thoughts on that, Miss Leslie?
I'm going to, because your chart is still in light mode. So let me just pull it up on my chart. This is not, so this is Align Technology. So it's not actually Invisalign. It's just a similar publicly traded company. Is that what we're saying? Oh, okay.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to actually share my chart, and I'm not going to be super redundant, but it's just easier for me to see things on my chart. So let me see if I can get some cooperation from Restream. There we go. Okay, so you guys should see my aligned hourly chart, hopefully. I've drawn the fib on the hourly chart, but I'm going to make it so we only see this fib on the lower time frames. Peek at the daily real quick. Put another fib here. And this is kind of redundant, but you can see we bounced off the 886. Now we're at the 79. If you're in our mentorship, you know exactly what that means. We've got our 21 and 50 converging 4 hour. I like this nice green candle off of, I believe that would be on the hourly is the 886 level. I have never seen this stock. I don't follow it. I'm looking for the time frame on which we've taken out some of the moving averages. And so it looks like that would be this time frame. We've got a cross on the 2150. And so, Natasha, did you have a day report? Ooh, tomorrow. Okay. So did you have a
Yes.
contract in mind? So my expectation would
Um,
be
so I'm looking. I honestly think this one is a pretty wild mover. When it moves, that thing goes. It runs like it stole something. Um, the pricing on the 230, because I'd be looking. I don't like playing weeklies on earnings simply because you don't have time to recover, and it has to move pretty good um, for it to come into profit. We don't have a lot of there's no volume on the 230 contract March 14th, and pretty low volume on the 37 as well. But I like it. I like it. It's a more expensive contract. I would probably consider. No, the contract prices are too high right now to consider even a lotto for this week. So it's something to watch, but I think it could quite easily, get right back to 245.
okay. So what's more than likely happening is I guess the implied volatility is probably high, which is pushing the contract prices up.
Absolutely.
Eh, okay. So I'm just this always trips me out when we were trading stuff down here at these levels in 2022. So Spotify, for example, was at like $75 when we started looking at it, and now it's at almost $600. But anyway, I want to really quickly, because I'm still in the process of going through the dashboard, looking at news and stuff. I want to just review some of the stuff from yesterday really quickly before the market opens, so we can give the mentorship members some perspective on what they might want to do with those trades if they're in them. And so I'm in this one. I'm pretty sure if I'm in BBAI that I had given that trade at some point, probably last week. And we should have had the expectation based on the setup of the moving averages of what it was going to do. So I'm imagining that this is the 50 level, but let's just confirm that real quick. And I'm going to be really quick with these charts. Okay, we went to the 618. So next level would be 452, 482, 536. I'm going to be holding that at the open. I don't even know what contract I have open. I just know I saw it in Fidelity yesterday. Tim, this is one that we should have some time on, at least March 2021. I told you that one of the things that interested me in it was Kathy Woods. I think what caught my attention was that Kathy Woods and Nancy Pelosi had been buying a ton of it, but it was in the index. It is like a health technology software service. And so I'm going to be holding this trade. Usually, even if I had longer dates, I would jump out, take my profit. But what happened is what I talked about yesterday in the chat with Oklo. I'll jump out, take my profits, and tell myself that I'm waiting for a retrace, and then the stock will run without me. So I am actually going to hold this. I will probably sell half of the contracts and hold the rest because my expectation is they report at the end of the month is that they're going to run up to these levels, and that this will be just like Spotify that we just talked about 3 years from now. We'll be looking at this saying, oh my God, I can't believe that when we first started looking at this, it was $60 or $70 and now it's 300. So I'm holding that. I know I called SMCI. Just gonna draw a quick fib here from high to low. You can see that we traded above the 886, and now we're kind of bouncing with a doji off of the 0.236 level. But to me, SMI has taken, ooh, okay, we're on the 200 on the weekly as well. It's taken one hell of a beating. And so there's really, short of some other scandal like the accounting scandal, there's really nowhere else for it to go but up. So I will be holding my SMCI contracts. And this is why I put time on our contracts. Rigetti is one that we've been trading forever. I think that I'm probably in some leaps on that. MBOT is one that I've called. It is a health technology company. I think it has tremendous promise. I believe that I'm in a leap, and this is the one that I'll also be holding. QUBT is one that was called before all of this nonsense. It was probably called up here somewhere with a decent date, with the purpose of allowing us to withstand this should it happen. And as we know, for about the last 4 weeks in a row, there's been some huge negative impetus that has just caused. The first one was NVIDIA's CEO with his nonsense. And so that was probably here. And then we recovered, and then something else happened. And then we recovered, and then something else happened. And it just beat the quantum computing and AI stocks down. But that's why I put enough time on our contracts for us to be able to withstand that. So now this is going to start moving back in our direction, and we have time. RXT is one that I called yesterday, I believe. And you can kind of see the trajectory of what it's doing. Also, we'll be holding that one. I have a contract on AI, so I'll hold that one. I'm going to go back and look at some news. I just want to review what we've already done. This, I believe, reports after hours today. And so I don't know that I will be holding um, through earnings. Probably will hold at least one or two contracts through earnings. But as soon as I'm done doing this, I want to have a conversation with Natasha about this tariff stuff that's going on. Oklo. talked to you about it yesterday, said that I don't foresee it stopping. The best, in my opinion, let me see, because we might get a strong retrace. We got one, got an opportunity here. Draw a fib. I think that the best we can hope for at this level is a pause, and we should get in because this is another one of those stocks that, at least for the next 4 years, is going to be on this same trajectory. And this is one that I first mentioned in early December. Applied is another one of those that we probably got in up here or up here somewhere, but kind of know what I'm doing in terms of the dates that I put on our contract. Um, AMD is going to report this evening. And so let's see. You see it approach I want to actually be on the hourly. I think that it will get at least to the 200 moving average, and then I will make a determination on it then. Is there anything else from yesterday that I need to address? XYZ. Ah, I like where XYZ is positioned. And so, say all that to say that I am confident in the trades that we opened yesterday. Um, and that I will be holding. I'll be holding to see what the first half of the day's price action looks like before I make any determination. So, for example, on Tim, I think Tim is going to give us a retrace, perhaps to about, I think it would be the 50% level where these moving averages are. Don't let that scare you out of your trade. And so that's all I have to say about that. But Natasha, let's have, while I go through my news and stuff, let's have a little commentary about the tariff situation. I think it's tremendously powerful, especially for even for China. They're trying to play hardball, but
It's extremely powerful. And we kind of talked about all of the things that are being taxed out of Canada and other countries. Um, I I am waiting for them to rug pull us again. I think is what's happening. Trump didn't really get a lot of concessions. Yeah, there's some pacification going on, and I wouldn't put it past. He's using all this as leverage to kind of get what he wants. He's acting like a petulant child, and I love it. I love it for for my options plays is what I would say. Um, but I mean, I think if we look at it historically, his last time in office, he put tariffs on a bunch of people in a bunch of countries, and we didn't see any ill effects. So um, I think this is the fear of the unknown, really.
I agree. And so I
Yeah.
think that I kind of thought that what these two countries conceded in terms of dealing with their border issues were significant concessions. Because if I remember correctly, the last Mexican president was like, you know, treating Trump like a joke. And so just any concession around the border, I think, is a big deal. And it's interesting to me that all it would take is some tariffs to get those concessions. I think there may be more going on in the background, but the most important thing that you said is around that rug pull. I kind of tend to agree, and it's just someone said, I don't know, one of the people who I train with along the way probably said that the market, if you think of it like a sports team, they only have so many plays in their playbook. And one of the plays that they run consistently, we've seen it almost every week, um, is that they get everybody's hopes up. They get everybody to jump in these calls by making all of these exciting bullish moves in the market. And then something happens in the news on a Friday evening or over the weekend, and we wake up to a disaster, blood in the streets. And so I want us to be cautious. I think that's important. I want us to be cautious about having diversified options plays. Don't be too heavily in tech. Don't go too heavy in any one contract. Take your profit, or I, trailing stops don't even help over the weekend. Take your profit when you see it. What else can I say around that? Because you're right, Natasha, it's absolutely coming. We're gonna load up in these options contracts, these calls, and they're gonna pull the rug out from under us at some point. And I would imagine that it would be before the 221 expiration date.
I would think so. I would absolutely think so. And I think that they like to create, I don't. None of this is coincidence, and I know you do a lot of research into what the politicians are buying. I can promise you this: somebody always knows something that we don't, right? And when you start seeing that unusual movement and your Pelosi's and your other politicians getting in, because if you ask me, Nancy Pelosi is like a part-time politician, full-time trader. That would be kind of how I categorized her. Um, how is she so precise?
Mm-hmm. And there have been
You
some
know,
very curious moves in their trading, in their spouses trading. Um, Over, I would say, since early December. And so at the 10th, there was a lot of trading. The 21st, there was and I'm talking about December, there was a lot of trading. And of course, on the 31st, there was a lot of very accurate and well timed trading. And so if you're not paying attention to that, I encourage you to pay attention to that. I'm not going to go, well, right now we're only talking to the mentorship. So you guys know that I use one of my favorite, possibly my best resource is bar chart. You can find out more information than you could ever use with a single $39.95 per month subscription to bar chart. So with that said, I know I saw in the chat, Natasha, that you put some stuff about economic reports at 8:30. They have come in. Um, are there any updates that you need?
and nope. I think we're still largely tariff driven. The jolts were actually a big thing for a while, but that's cooled off. And the reason why is so lower than expected job openings seem to signal to the market that we are seeing some sort of cooling in the labor markets. And it's just not what we're seeing. So they were basically trading on hopium, right? In terms of, oh, less jobs means that we can that Powell may go ahead and cut the interest rate. I don't see that happening, and I feel like there's a lot of people who are just trading on hopium at this point. It won't happen till it happens. Um, as in, the American markets tend to get really excited when other countries cut their rates as well, because it's seen as a just a foreshadowing of what's to come with us. Um, but I'm not too terribly hopeful, to be honest.
Not too terribly hopeful about
I'm
rate
not.
cuts.
Nope. Well, and in my mind, like we think about it, right? So we're cutting rates. Why? The economy is supposedly doing okay. You and I both know that the recession is a lagging, all of these things are lagging indicators. So you're not going to see them overnight. That their credit card debt is going up, personal expenditures are going up, consumer spending um, is still actually relatively decent, which is another metric they're using. But we all know, and we talked about this budgeting, right? Last night in our women's group, you'll spend money you don't have if you feel like you have to.
Yeah. Um, I think that it sounds like, and I'm multitasking because I'm kind of behind on my morning process. Um, but I thought I heard you say that the labor market is cooling. Is that accurate?
No, that's not what I said. They're hoping that the labor market cools. That's their great hope here.
Hmm.
And I'm looking. Well, like I said, that would be an indicator that they need to cut rates. But again, people are taking vacations. People are, doing doing the things that that you would not expect people, an economy in recession, to be
I
doing.
think that that is, some more of what we talked about last night was just foreshadowing the impacts of AI. And so I think that for a lot of people, that's gonna come to a screeching halt. We're going to see some
I
changes
think
over
so.
the next 12 months that I don't know. People are aware of it because we're talking about it. People like us are talking about it online in these spaces that they're in, but for whatever reason, they are choosing to ignore it or pretend like it's not happening. And so that is a choice that I think will be costly. Right now, I'm looking at some of my trades. So I have an RXT May 16th, $3. The XYZ is March 21st. So we may need to look at that because I think it was kind of flat if I remember correctly. BBAI was also a March and it's 9:30. So let us see. Be quiet for a second here because I got a lot of trades to look at. What are you?
So what I'm looking at now, and I do have some trades open, but that's neither here nor there. When you buy time, um, looking at AM, no, so who reports today? AMD reports today. Um, they're moving very interesting. Let's look at this on the hourly. AMD is moving just a little, but they report today after the close. And so if they have good earnings, I would expect ARM and QCOM, which also report this week, just not today. I would expect there to be an impact on that price for a quick move up. And those where you might find a little bit better premium with less risk.
I definitely remember seeing a lot about. It looks like Nvidia is still taking a beating, based on that the 150 contracts. But I've been seeing a lot about what the heck? A lot about Oracle and QCOM
Hmm.
in the news. So that's interesting. What is Baba doing? My Baba contracts are not doing as well as they were yesterday, but PDD is running.
Which is interesting because remember PDD was down like what 30 the other night.
So what's interesting to me is I saw some people on Twitter talking about Timu and PDD and the impact that the tariffs are going to have on it. It's not even a Chinese company. It's headquartered in Ireland. Um, and so what I don't
That's
understand,
people thinking they know what they know, you
uh-huh,
know?
is why the chart is so similar. Probably almost exactly the same as Baba and Baidu. But it looks like Baba is moving up. I'm gonna look at. I just shared some contracts with them, so I'm gonna share my screen and let's talk a little bit about those charts real quick. Window.
I mean, I know you don't like my light mode, but I did have some of those pulled already.
Go ahead.
It's
No, go
fine.
ahead.
Guess what?
As
Later on,
long
we're going
as
to change it.
you
No,
can.
no, no, no. You go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. You know why? Because what will inevitably happen is like to see it, you'll have to do it. So let's be efficient, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So what did I put in there? Let me see. RY.
But I do. I do like QCOM calls, and they tend to be on the more affordable side. And QCOM just wicked down. Let me go to yep. Let's see. QCOM is another one that moves pretty good. Um, and it's just that quick. It is trying to move across the 50 and the 200, and it's getting ready to make that move like probably right now. For QCOM, with it reporting this week, you want some good delta. I'm
So
just
we
looking at,
have
whoa.
bullish divergence, and it's trying to take out the 200 moving average right now. So it does
Hmm.
look promising. I put RY in the chat, guys, based on what, just a quick look at RY that I did, top down analysis. I wouldn't touch it. I'm not going to touch it. I'll see how it develops.
Interesting. There's no volume on the February 28th 180s. Let's see. And you can see it right there on the chart. The 50 is at 188. It's not unlikely that it gets there. At least not in my mind. Um,
I didn't look at levels.
and with a
I didn't look at the
okay.
levels on QCOM, but just based on the position of price action relative to the 200 moving average, I like it. I want to see it take out the moving average and trade back into it. But I like that. So should I make a note, or I know you good at keeping mental notes about dropping that when the time comes?
Um, I'm honestly, because I'm going to buy time, and it is it is. So if I look at where it is in comparison, like I think we see it make a run very shortly. And I also think because you're gonna have it should run with AMD and ARM. Let's see. ARM is up today. It's wicking, but yeah, I don't see any reason why it's not gonna move. You know what I mean? Especially if you give it time. So I'm waiting. I'm gonna let this first 15-minute candle close and see where we're at, but I'm just looking for my entry, and I think I've got a pretty decent one
I
in
am.
just a few seconds here.
I'm getting prepared to buy that AI contract, and I may put a little more time on it than the contract that's in the chat, based on this double bottom here and this strong candle. Interestingly, there's no news. But based on what I'm seeing just on the hourly, I'm probably gonna get that contract in the morning with the expectation that we'll get to the 200. I do want to see that's 32.42. We're right there. So on the 15, or yeah, no, I'm not even gonna wait for a retrace. Um, Nope, I'm gonna hop in that contract. But first, I'm gonna look to see if I can get a April monthly. It's looking like that's the 17th, I think, April 17th. So April 17th, $40 call is still pretty reasonably priced with some decent open interest. So I'm gonna go for that one, and I may get the March as well. I may get both. Um, March 21st. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, price has changed significantly. Based, I said the price has changed significantly, um, based on that one candle.
Hmm.
First candle of the morning. So I'm just going to go with April. Um,
And we
what am
are, where is my SPX chart? Do, 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 do.
I'm watching QNTM because it ran up 100 and some odd, I don't know, about 107% this morning. And so we have gotten a decent retrace to the 7-9. Watching that one. I'm not even sure if they had options contracts, but keeping an eye on QNTM. Someone said to me, I don't know how to trade those contracts that you trade. And I need to address that, I guess.
Which,
Grab is in the money. That $5 grab contract is now in the money. Um, I don't know how to trade the contracts that you trade. You know what? I'm not.
look at CRM, it's flying. It's going again, baby.
Who is that?
CRM.
I don't even remember.
It's been running off and on. I swear, two pairs of eyes are better than one.
Yeah, because I don't even remember. I kind of vaguely remember, I guess, us. Oh, APP. Now, we've been talking about APP since I was at your house. And
I'm in I'm in an app call right now, 370.
you so
But
sneaky.
I've been in it for a couple of days. So,
I
huh?
said, you so sneaky.
I am not. We talked about this. Stop the madness. All of the madness, ma'am. We're not doing that.
Teledoc is looking good. I like Teledoc. I did a report. One of the reports was on telehealth years ago. I don't know. I started doing the reports in 2020, so maybe 2021. And we've just continued to move. First, it was because of COVID, but now we have just continued to move in that direction. And so Teledoc is kind of the leader. But then the other one, and I called a contract on this, the other one is Hims. And I called it down here somewhere. And now look where we are. So this is something that I recommend positioning yourself in because now you can get anything done, any type of visit, any type of prescription done using some telehealth provider. So if you missed the boat,
Well, I think I told you the other day when I had to take my mother to the urgent care. We're inside the urgent care, and they're like, "Oh, well, we're running behind. Do you mind being seen virtually?" So it's not just you're sitting at home and too sick to go. They're utilizing that inside of the facility as well.
wow. And so the first thing that interested me in Hims was there was article, at least an article or two, about the possibility of Amazon just acquiring them. And so that was my original purpose. But as I said, I've been interested in telehealth since COVID. RXT has gone flat. Let's see. Let's see.
Hmm, do I want to sell you? I've got my sell order already in. So I was down a little bit on my app 11. I think I'm gonna take 60% and be done, which is decent profit. Um, and we're holding. Ooh, we're holding 6,000 on SPY and
I
SPX.
totally forgot that
Let's
I'm
see
in a
what
spy contract somewhere.
you are. And it should be. So I know yesterday I mentioned that 601 level. It did that right after close yesterday. Um, Did that right after close yesterday, but we are on the daily right now at a price action where the 21 and the 50 are crossing, and we're still well above the 200. So that should do well.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out. I have a decent contract. I think I have a March 21st. It's a March 21st, 6:15.
Damn it, Jim.
What's
Okay, you told me about the cursing. I was was busy doing this and didn't take my QCOM call.
ah?
It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, so how much
It's fine.
price have you missed?
Oh,
That's
that's cool.
$2. You missed $2 of movement. I know that's significant on an options premium, but in the grand scheme of things, you're trading a double bottom, triple bottom formation off of the 200 moving average with all of the moving averages there together. It's okay.
No, 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 no. So I didn't miss it, and of course I'm going to get in, but I missed my
Your
entry,
ideal
and
entry.
I sat here and I said it. I said, "Oh, the entry's right here." Duh.
So let's see.
It's okay.
That's what happens though. I mean, I make no qualms about it that doing this service that we do
Mhm.
definitely takes away from what I would it so in a way it's very much just me letting you into my morning process, but then in some other ways it detracts from my own stuff. And it seems like Miss Natasha is having the same experience.
I mean, it's okay.
But
We're all gonna make money. It's not the end of the world. We should get some level of retracement, and that'll just be that. That'll be my entry. I'm not having a bad morning by any stretch of the imagination, though. You know,
me either. The overnight
my
has treated me well. Do I want to get in at? I hate when it's
it's
something that
okay.
I've been looking at for weeks and somehow I still manage to not be in it.
You know why?
But
Because you can't be
whatever.
in everything. It's just the nature of the beast. You can't be in everything.
But that reminds me of, and I've said this a lot of times, that reminds me of a conversation that I had with our former mentor when he was saying there's going to come a point when you're going to need a team. And, one member of your team will watch these 20 stocks, and another member will watch these 20 stocks, and you guys won't miss any of the moves in the market. Um, Now he's saying something completely different, but I still am trying to create my team. And so right now we have a team of two.
Don't worry, he's training people how to take 3% on a stock.
I'm not being
Mm,
messy
mm-mm.
anymore. And so last night,
I'm not
I
being messy either. Pardon me for
hopefully,
2 seconds. I ran to the she shed and I forgot something. I'll be right back.
okay. So last night after our women's call, I had what shaped up to be not an interview, call it a meeting with another potential team member. Um, a trader that Natasha trained actually. Um, so she gave Natasha a wonderful testimonial about sitting in her kitchen watching Natasha make $18,000 in a matter of 8 hours. And just how she was convinced by that, and she did what she needed to do to learn. And that was back in the Abacus days. But she did what she needed to do in order to learn. And so I'll be having a follow up conversation with her to see just what role she wants to play in the quantum capitalist and our women's movement legacy of luxury. So that'll be interesting if we can get a third female ball and trader on the team.
Trained her myself.
Everything
She's
is
pretty
looking.
amazing.
I know. Everything is looking lovely right now. Even some of the stuff like my penny stocks. Um, I need to somehow. So Wednesday, everyone, we have our Chat GPT intro training. But after that, we're going to do our technical analysis training. I kind of need to have a come to Jesus moment of sorts, I think, because Natasha and I are making money. And so the reason that I dropped my calendar, and I'm gonna get Natasha a calendar link too, because maybe it's just that you guys don't like me, so you don't want to meet with me. But we need to have a come to Jesus moment around if you are not making money in the mentorship or the chat, why that is, and how we fix it if it can be fixed. Because obviously, the purpose of us all being here in the chat, which will soon be a Discord, and on these lives and before the pre market videos, is so that we can all make money together. So, if that is not happening for you, reach out so that we can fix it. If it is happening to you, reach out and send me some screenshots of your profits. Poor Neo. I remember trading Neo at $20 and
I haven't looked at Neo, and good God, it's not even a blip on my radar. Whew. Oh,
you know what?
poor little pink
Shendo.
pink. Hey, do you think I can wear the chicken hat on one of our morning calls?
Sure, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. The
Oh, you're
Gap
fucking
got
hilarious.
closed. Take a look at what is Credo Technology Company. Take a look at CRDO for me, just the overall what they do.
CRDA. Okay.
Crescendo.
CRDA. You just want me to figure out what the hell they do, not
I
necessarily
mean, just an overall
a
picture.
play.
I'm gonna look at Crescendo, which is one of
Okay.
the companies that our politicians seem to be interested in.
Interesting. Process. Oh, okay. Credo Technologies. Let's see what they do.
So obviously, this one is about to do some things.
Mm,
Mm,
okay. Okay, I'm ready to. I'm multitasking here. Waiting for this entry, a new entry on QCOM. But let's see.
hmm. Mm-mm. Oh wow, a net you shouldn't come as any surprise though that it did that off of that 200.
Mm-hmm. They provide, so Credo provides high speed connectivity solutions for data infrastructure markets. Renowned for providing innovative, secure, high speed connectivity solutions that enhance power and cost efficiency in infrastructure. Okay, I could see them needed a little bit more. Them definitely getting contracts with in the AI space and all that other great stuff because it does. But Credo is considered a semi. Okay. Definitely something to look at as my husband sends me pictures of beautiful beaches and he knows I'm busy. Gotta love that man though.
Let that man find us a vacation. Tim is the team
Or
travel
something.
agent.
Girl, you'd be mad letting him plan your vacation.
No, I'm not participating in all of the excursions and activities. I go on vacation to vacate, not to
I'm about to say, girl. And he was like, no. Like, I want to just sleep. Can we just sleep? He literally had every single day jam packed full of something. Like there was no. Mm-hmm. I t- we go on vacation in September. He's already got excursions planned for 2 of those days and paid for. I promise you, the Pantheon was not getting ready. At least not, not in January. It wasn't. Not for September.
Yeah, no, I will not be hiking with you guys or any of that stuff.
Oh man, we did 70 miles of our Spain trip. Yeah, that's a thing.
No, man.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
ACHR. Yes, I do. All right. I'm just checking on my trades. I'm about to look at some news and see if there's anything else important going on. Um,
Anything across my desk. Um,
AMD is
but I am
taking a
still
beating.
actually paying attention to what we got going on here.
I want to look at AMD and Nvidia real quick. Let me see something. Let me just run through the news again. Update this.
Mhm. Alphabet actually reports today too. Hmm. Little Tink Tink Roblox,
So
but
you guys
actually
may
that might be
remember
something on
Roblox,
huh?
Roblox, depending on where it is on the chart, may be something to look at. But PayPal, right? PayPal is an interesting example to piggyback off something I said yesterday, or it might have been last Wednesday. But how I think that earnings depends more on where the stock is positioned on the chart than it does on whether or not they beat earnings, because PayPal beat and they dropped. And so I kind of have the same expectation of Google because of where it is on the chart and just it needing to have its reset. Everything else has had a reset. Not everything. I think Amazon's still up there.
Yeah, it's possible it will wick up like Apple did and come right back down. That would be a nice put.
I think
That would be a hella nice put.
I think that's something we may want to prepare for.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I mean, well, what everybody knows is that we'll be here waiting for it.
Oklo signs a deal to boost nuclear capabilities. Let's see if Oklo is going to give us an entry. Okay, we're getting some retrace. I'm going to go look for a contract on Oklo so we can be positioned in it. I'm going to look for something a year out. I expect that it's going to be expensive. But it's not going anywhere for the next 4 years. They signing contracts, government contracts. That's kind of all I need to hear. I'm looking at what is down to see if there are potentially any opportunities, any retraces that we should be taking a look at. The penny stocks. Penny stock update is the penny stocks are doing exactly what penny stocks should do, and that you guys should have them in a watch list for that one day that you look and they've done something like this or like this. And that's the story on the penny stocks. There's nothing that I tell you guys to buy that I don't buy. I'm telling you to buy it because I bought it. And if I'm buying it, it's because reasons. Um,
Reasons.
yes, reasons. Y'all know I do a lot of research. So this Let's see what this news is.
Did we invite Marcia to the live?
Well, she's in the chat, so theoretically,
Okay, so she would have seen it. Okay.
what time zone is she in?
Okay. Canada. Same time zone. Should be. Because she's just in Toronto. Really? Really, really, really. Probably shouldn't, but I really. Because I am sitting in a 305 coin call for next week. And the catalyst on that is earnings. We saw yesterday the way that it has those deep V-shaped moves. It's kind of playing around right now, but I don't know. I may actually go out to 310. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong option chain. Okay. As I feel like that's getting ready to give me a nice entry too.
I like this crescendo.
Let's take a look. So, do any of our viewers have any questions?
Let me check the chat. None that I can see. I'm not looking at YouTube, and so I don't even know how many viewers we have.
I'll pop over to the chart and see chart requests. I think CJ may be on with us. Yep, exactly what I expected to happen here.
Carvana's going to 276-ish.
What are your thoughts? They report Friday, I want to say, Thursday, something like that.
I've been holding SoFi shares since the IPO, and Rivian is going again. And so at some point, it had to be last week because it's only Tuesday. At some point last week, I bought some contracts. I think I want to say $15 calls.
Okay,
$15
so
March, I believe.
here. Okay.
TJ's in the chat.
That was Rainy. I think so Marcia is on as well. She's in transit to the meeting, so she'll be in and out. But she'll be with us throughout the duration tomorrow.
PDD. How much movement did I miss? Not much at all. PDD is going to 123. They don't report until March. HIMS is a damn goner. But I'm gonna look at a PDD. I'm gonna look for a PDD contract, unless you want to look for a PDD contract. I'm mad about HIMS. Sure, pretty sure I collapsed all my HIMS trades.
I mean, the 115 is kind of pricey for March 21. I don't hate the 120. It's got decent volume and open interest. It's trading at its highs of the day, so might want to wait for a little bit of retrace on that one, but
What was the second contract? And what's pricey? You said it's pricey. What's pricey?
so the first contract was the 115 March 21st, and it was 740 bid, 770 ask, last trade 760. Last sold was 400, so you probably get in about 430, 440 right at the moment.
And what was the second contract?
But if your target is 120, the
And that's the
120
120 for March.
for March 21st.
All right, let's take a look. And that is, we're talking about. So now I multitask in the process of that, and I swear I blanked out. Let me use my back button to see if I can figure out what the hell are we talking about, Natasha? What PDD? Okay, okay, okay. All right.
You asked me to, yes, I was about to say, did you forget that quick what you asked me to do?
A little bit, a little bit. Do I want to wait for a retrace? I don't think so because let me find my 886.
The market has been getting soft around the lunchtime lull. So I think that
We had
there
10
probably will be slightly better entries. Yep.
I don't think better than this though. I think that we get another nice green candle up to one of our key fib levels. Let me get in this contract. We get another nice retrace, or we get another nice green candle to 6187179, somewhere in there, and then we go flat-ish for lunch. Let me see what Baba's doing.
I mean, I could see it. What are your volumes looking like?
Um, Declining. But then I do have
Yep.
these. It's typical
Okay,
though, but
so
at
we do
least it's
have some
green.
requests, some chart requests. We have SoFi and Palantir being
Palantir is
requested.
gone.
I think two wonderful.
I think Palantir is.
Well, yeah, it was. It
And the reality is, I
ran
was
like
so
it sold
busy
something.
being oppositionally defiant. Natasha, you could do those two if you want. I'm over here getting in this PDD trade. But I was being so oppositionally defiant around the number of shills in those groups with Palantir that, it cost me. Because they talk about it every day. It's like do something, get a hobby, go jog or something. But
Because I know a firm reports this week as well, so that might be a good.
Affirm I'm in somewhere. Have a lot of faith in Affirm. But it's I think if I remember correctly, and if what I last saw still stands, it is the only buy now, pay later stock that, like XYZ, taking a beating, PayPal taking a beating. Um Affirm is the only one that's still kind of holding its own for whatever reason.
Oh, interesting action here on the daily.
Let's see. That's significant. That's pretty significant.
I mean, if you want to switch the screenshot, oh, let
Go
me.
ahead. I
Oh,
think I need to
I
see
am
anything.
sharing.
Let me see.
Well, let me see if I can see. Okay. We're still learning how to work this thing. Share.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. So, just looking purely at the daily, we're sitting at the 382, which I like. Um, and because we're approaching, so where are we? We don't need much movement. We need like 40 cents worth of movement to get to the 2150 cross. So let's drop that down to the 4 hour. Oh, and we're getting ready to converge with the 200 and as well on the 4 hour. Let's drop it down to the 1 hour. Still seeing the same thing. And with, let me see what Affirm is doing, because I would have every expectation that they kind of run together. Oh, look at that. My app 11 just popped. Um, and we are going to sell you now at
Spy and
7.
Nvidia are doing the damn thing as well.
Um, but no, I'm actually liking this SoFi call. Let's try and get some.
I'm in
Let me set my
321.
goddamn sell order real quick for app 11. Let me do that, and then I'll be right back with you. We're gonna sell you. Let's see if I can get a whole 100% out of you. All right. Drop it back down to hourly. I mean, this thing looks ripe for the picking. Let's see what Affirm is doing. Hmm. November. Let's just toss a fib on it right quick. And then drop it down.
See.
Holy fuck. It looks like Affirm is moving just
Natasha, you gonna get me
what?
kicked off YouTube, girl.
Oh,
The
my bad.
profanity. You forgetting that we're here with you.
My bad. Um, my apologies. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I like it. I like it. Affirm is moving very similarly. So let's look for a SoFi contract.
Affirm is moving similarly to SoFi, you said?
Mhm.
I'm hoping that some people are in the Affirm calls because I'm gonna look in the chat and figure out when it was called.
I say because I don't follow SoFi,
I
but I can
follow
tell
it
you that.
because, like I said, I invested in it basically at IPO. And then I have the account over there with some shares and so forth. And it's just
Oh, and the
taking a beat.
contracts are really affordable. That's 16. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and take it. The 16s for 321 are $1.05 right now. And they were 30% higher. I may actually, so I am, let me get back here. I think SoFi is a good, um,
I wonder if Rita
'Cause
is
it
still in
went
that.
into 16. The 18s for March 21st are only 48 cents, but I like that at the money. So I'm only taking 4, but I'm taking the March 21st 16 calls, and I just got filled at $1.03.
Did I take Pin Duo? Oh, I did. Okay. I'm not jumping because I think I entered and I shared with them when I entered SoFi Friday, probably. Um, a few contracts. I can't remember, maybe a handful of contracts. But if you look at the higher time frames, weekly, monthly, you'll see that it has just been downtrodden for years.
And that goes back to the concept of overbought and oversold, right? So I think people don't necessarily consider that that can happen over a period of years and months and all that other good stuff. Like it's not.
Mhm. That's something that I told you when I first started out. I watching a 4 hour chart was unthinkable. It was insufferable. I couldn't do it. I didn't understand how people did it. But over the 12 years, I've gained such an appreciation for the long term charts, the hourly, I'm not the hourly, the weekly, the monthly, the daily. But if you are not doing anything else, if you finish taking your trades, do me a favor and pull up Upstart. And Upstart is a fintech company that just kind of went crazy out of nowhere, in my opinion. And I think
It
that
probably has
now
earnings coming up too.
does. I think it's on the 11th.
Mm.
This is TF. So we have to talk about there's your Affirm, your Block, your PayPal, but then there's Ziz TF and Sezzle.
Mm.
Um, Let me write those down. They are also in that space. And Sezzle, I don't know if they have options. And Ziz TF is a penny stock,
What's
about a
the ticker on Sezzle?
SEZL.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Nope. No options.
Damn, damn. It has
You
bounced
getting ready
off.
to get me kicked off YouTube? Stop it.
It has damn. I think damn is safe. It's the other words that start with an F that may be problematic. But Sezzle has bounced off the 886 4 times now. But we're not gonna talk about it because it's a $250 stock, $36 stock. ZizTF is a penny stock. I've said before that we should start to just accumulate some shares on it. And so I will do that. But Upstart, I think, is back in that position where we could position ourselves to take it back to $90 and beyond.
Mm. Oh. Yeah. That does look promising.
And I don't think let me just look. I don't think what they do is anything revolutionary. There are other companies that do it. They just, I guess, seem to do it better. So let's see. Cloud-based artificial intelligence lending platform. It aggregates consumer demand for loans and connects it to the company's network of artificial intelligence enabled bank partners. Boom, easy peasy. So
I
I
wonder
think
if
just
they'll eventually be an acquisition target.
hmm, let's talk about it. For whom potentially? Alpha
I mean,
Modus.
arbitrage is a thing for whoever's smart enough to grab them. Don't sleep. I've seen people sleep on. So I used to work for a company called Bill Me Later, actually.
I remember
Um,
that company.
yep. Um, so and it was just like, well, who would want to buy us? And we ended up getting bought out by PayPal.
Nice.
So, we had all of these worthless stocks and shares, as part of our compensation packages that ended up paying quite handsomely. And then I left to go do something else. But somebody who's smart enough to see that what you're doing is beneficial to them, that's pretty much all it takes.
So I get that part. Um, I'm just thinking about like specific particular who might be in. Okay, so
I would think probably one of your bigger players, your firm, your upstart.
for Upstart for lending,
Well, it says it
I
aggregates that, right?
it aggregates lenders. So I was thinking that you would be thinking because you trade the banks. So I was thinking you might say something like a Goldman Sachs or
You
something
know
like
what?
that.
I think that a lot of these banks are behind the times, right? That's too forward thinking, in my personal opinion, for like a Goldman or one of those. Now, some of the credit card companies, maybe.
Okay. So that's kind of what I was, I guess, looking for. And you know what? My former business partner used to say the same thing, and it was something that he got from Google CEO. Like they're just too large to be innovative and agile in that way. So I definitely agree with you on the antiquated. MBOT is the little engine that is right now. SMCI is in a perfect position. All you guys got to do is go to the search feature in the chat and you can find the contracts on these. SMCI was from about 2 days ago, but just type in SMCI and you'll see the contract there. And let me know what the contract was.
You know what? And I forget where I saw it because news is my thing. I could contently lay in bed all day and watch news, and sometimes I do. So, but they are something is happening with them on the 11th, and they're supposed to be doing something. Let me look. SMCI. Oh, there is definitely something happening with SMCI on February the 11th. 2/11. Okay. Oh, just earnings? Okay. So it looks like it's just earnings, but let me go look.
Teletalk is doing
February
the
10th is the earnings date that I'm seeing here, but SMCI is notorious for, oh, look at that bounce. Look at that bounce. And there's your 601 that I called yesterday on SPY. What was my point here? Oh, so SMCI has a habit of pre-announcing their earnings. And if that holds true, it would be sometime this week. What we saw was right before this debacle. I made $70,000 trading SMCI last year, so I follow it very closely. But prior to this here debacle, so people were anticipating that they would announce early like they previously had done. And what you saw was the failure to announce by like Thursday or Friday took the stock down. So just be aware that that happened.
okay. I know that I'm in a trade and I can't find it. So maybe I'm not in the trade. Hmm. Let's use our search feature. Mm, Bobby is doing swimmingly well.
Mm-hmm.
Know that I entered this MBOT trade and I've seen it in one of these accounts. I've seen it. And now I can, oh, there it is. Okay. I think what happened is they don't have options. And so I just bought shares. Seems to
Okay.
be what happened. And I think I
Well,
will go buy
hopefully
more.
somebody caught the entry on QCOM. Now I'm waiting for it to come back down a little bit. Sitting here
We talked
talking.
right past it because I certainly meant to take it. Um,
I'm also very, and let me see something. I want to look at Twilio. Twilio has some real potential. But it's kind of sitting at the top of that range. Hmm. I
I'm
expect a
just
move.
reviewing. Hmm.
I said I'm expecting a move on Twilio. And their earnings are next week. So I think that it will.
Can you pull up the chart?
I just had it up. I don't like the. I don't like it. But if you look at the monthly, I drew from here to here, but Twilio was it's on an upward trajectory, and I see that it could potentially get way back up here. Um,
I can't tell anything from that chart because I can't see what's on the left of it. Like what's left? Um,
well, okay, so you pull it up then.
no, let me see something. Let's can you put it back on the monthly? Was that the monthly you were looking at last?
Yes.
Okay, let me see if this is an improvement for both of us. Cause I wanted you to just see. Okay, now make the candle smaller. I do it with my mouse, the roller on my mouse. No, 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 not shorter. Roll your mouse thing. Like, yeah. So now you can see everything that happened to the left, and you can kind of establish where levels might be.
Oh yeah, like this thing can go to the moon. Can shoot straight back to 200. Now, I don't think that it shoots back to 200 on earnings, but we've been seeing some breakneck moves, so it's a possibility. I don't think
Hmm.
I wouldn't buy that far out of the money. Um, but stranger things have happened, and Twilio is one that beats its earnings very consistently as well.
The one concern that I have, and I actually have a fib on it, drawn from March 20, this is on a monthly, March 2020 to the high in February 2021. I'm gonna move it back though. No, that didn't do anything. The one thing that concerns me about it is that it's sitting right at the 50.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it is pretty great. It's sitting at the 50 and it's overbought and the stochastic is crossing on a monthly. But I'm gonna look at the daily. The daily, the moving averages, yeah. So on my daily, and I can show it if you want. I prefer not to, but
Go for it.
okay. So window. Jerry. God dang it. It shows me the option of showing, and then when it disappears. Here we go. All right. What? All right, hopefully you can see my Twilio daily.
It's much better now.
Okay, so it's at this level and it is kind of giving head and shoulders. Um, Stochastic is, in my opinion, like quite bearish. And so I think that, and I always tell them on Wednesdays that once we get away from these two moving average, but particularly the 21, it kind of trades back into that. And so the only thing you said they report, hmm, unless it retraces to that level. So this is 132. Let's see if there's alignment. That's actually 124. So kind of. Unless it retraces back into this level before earnings, I would think that that's what it's going to do for earnings.
Um, and quite possibly, but I think there's definitely going to be a run up. But that would be what I expected to see. This is why I don't hold most stuff through earnings.
Okay. Um, I'm trying to see what Bitcoin. Oh, wait a minute. We trying.
Tricky
I've
chart.
said 87. I've said it. You talking about Twilio? I'm going back to it in a minute. I just wanted to see
You kind of broke up.
what Bitcoin was doing. Probably my internet. You know, my
It's
internet
just
gets wonky.
mm-hmm.
Apparently, I'm on a delay and some more stuff. Let me switch the internet to back to the other one. It's definitely a tricky chart. And so I don't know. And my thing is when if I don't know, and I
Okay. Well, it seems like Leslie is having some difficulties with her interwebs. Um, as I think you guys can see, sometimes the chart's just not so clear. And Twilio is one of those charts. It was it retraced quite a bit when she's looking at those highs from 2020, if I remember correctly. Um, I definitely still think up. This is where you trust your trader's gut. I think with the security and with all of the stuff going on with the new presidency, bothering everybody, ruffling a bunch of feathers, specifically with China, and so the, we have a lot of Twilio tends to run my fundamental take on it. I really can't tell too much from this chart, other than the hello. Okay, let's see. Okay. You back? Hello? Oh, there you go. How lovely to see you again.
I'm trying to see if my charts are gonna pull up at this point.
I don't know what the echo is about.
Now there's an echo.
Wait a minute.
Hmm.
Wait a minute. I think. Let me.
I think everything is back as it should be. Can we look at the indexes real quick? Because my charts are still trying to catch up to the fact that my internet is back on, I guess.
Yeah.
Um and
Let's
Nvidia.
see. Well, we can. Nvidia is actually kind of holding today. Let's drop it. Yep. Nvidia is holding today. There's your daily.
Let's see. You're not sharing your screen anymore.
There's that. I guess that happens when you. There we go. We shall share. All right.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Wait. Don't close. I gotta close.
Can you see it?
1 second. I'm trying to close my trading view down because my charts are just spinning. Close all. Okay. Let's see. What in the world? No, actually, I'm not. I'm not seeing it. Hold on a second. You know, I'm prone to have technical difficulties, right? And so for some reason,
I know. Not enough coffee yet this morning. That's all, baby.
can you
That's it. That's all.
close it down and try again because it's not letting me turn it on. Like
Okay. So, yep. Let's do
too much
that. Oh,
responsibility.
shit. Okay. I shared again.
All right, let's see. For whatever reason, it is not letting me. Do you have so on the right of your screen where we are on the right you would
Uh-huh.
have like I guess a silhouette with a plus sign and it says 3 next to it, like there's a notification for 3.
Nope. Oh, wait a
All
minute.
right, so you don't have.
Videos. Nope. It only allows me change avatar, video settings, or edit name. Whoa.
That's strange. Let me
I
see
know
if
I'm
mine
selling too
works.
early, but that's cool. App loving is given the loving. It is given the loving. And hopefully it sells in the next couple of minutes. But it says, is there anyone who can see this, who can see if they can see my chart? We should be looking at NVIDIA right now.
I think the issue is more than likely my internet. Give me a second, I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll be right here. I'm imagining you can hear. So I think we're to. Leslie just sent me another. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to come.
Okay, crazy town. Natasha? Okay, I'm back. Things seem to be working. I do see your screen and I'm making coffee. So I'm on mute.
Okay, so that's my chart. I don't know. Okay.
That's you.
Um, so where were we? Sorry about that, folks. Um, NVIDIA is actually holding pretty strong today. It had been taking a real beating. Um, but it looks like a nice recovery. Um, we're looking at, if I'm looking at the daily candle, it's trying to get back above the 50 and the 200 moving average, which would be right about 122.95. I think if we see that level, um, it heads for the it heads for the hills. Not exactly expecting it to to make too much more of a run today. Um, Baba seems to be moving quite nicely. I'd be interested if it can close the 4 hour above the 50. It's wicking in. So if we can get a solid green on the 50 moving average, that would encourage me more towards calls on that. Earnings is still coming up, and Leslie was talking about how she feels like movement during earnings is tied to where a thing is on the chart, and this is actually set up quite nicely for a move back above the 200 for earnings. I would think that we would see, my forecast of 150 still actually kind of holds. But with as beat down as it is, we would need there not to be too much more talk about tariffs on chips and all of that stuff, because that'll affect all the chips, um, not just Nvidia. And I am definitely liking.
PDD
So
is
over here trying
doing.
to trade.
PDD.
Listen, and Baba is trying to go too.
I'm in Baba. I'm in about 5 Baba contracts across these accounts from.
Well, we know Baba is your bae.
It just,
You
I
have
just
another
feel
baby named
like
Baba.
it's not even part of it is I feel like they owe me money. They owe me a significant amount of money. And the other part of it is I do have a lot of faith in Chinese Amazon.
I mean, and I can understand why you would. Um, it just seems like the U.S. government doesn't have the faith in your baby that you do.
So let's talk about that for a second. What is the real impact of all of this BS on Baba's revenue?
I
Because
honestly
nothing
don't
that
think
I'm
any.
right.
I don't
There's
think
nothing
any
that I'm
because
doing over here with calls and puts or shares that is impacting the amount of crap that they're selling.
this is very true.
And
This
so
is
that's
very true.
that's
But
where and so I think it's just a matter of us getting through this political tumult before the stock goes immediately back to where it should go. And that's all. So I think I'm gonna just plan to be always positioned in some type of long-term Bible trade because nothing that we're doing based on the earnings and based on my research has impacted their revenue. I'm gonna confirm that.
no, because they're an ADR, right? So they're yeah. I mean, I don't know if some of these other companies are sourcing materials out of China where that may affect them, but you're absolutely correct in that statement.
If I remember correctly, and I research a lot of stuff, and my memory, as you guys probably know by now, is horrible. But I think that the majority of their income is homegrown. Let me see, rose 4%,
Yes.
blah blah blah. Hmm. And they do so much digital media and entertainment, innovation initiatives, their cloud. They are, I want to say the top, they might be the third or fourth in market share in cloud computing. And that is you competing with Amazon, Google, Microsoft. And so you're number four. Um, large scale computing, security management, big data analytics. And so it's just a matter of time before the roof pops off. And I just want to be there. That's all. I just want to be in that number, as they say. Yeah, and the revenue is consistently increased from 2019 to 2023. So
And
I'm
so you
about to
said
start
2023.
sharing.
I don't follow Baba. What was 24 looking like?
Well, I'm just looking at that nifty little section on Trading View that I look at
Uh-huh.
and often screenshot. I'm just looking at that and it just shows you those years.
Oh, okay.
Um Nvidia is having some problems at the 50 on the hourly. It's wicked.
Yep. That's actually what I was
I'm
just saying. It's like we needed to close and hold above the 50.
It's not. I'm what I foresee is that it's going to trade back into on the 15 to 2150. It may wick. It'll probably wick off there, hopefully, but that's at about 117, 118.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is running well this morning, which is scary. It's ominous. BBAI, AI, these are the things that I jumped in. BBAI was in. But AI, PD, I bought some more shares of MBot, which is a medical AI company. Interested in that for obvious reasons. ZizTF is still doing something. SMCI, and I'm looking at 15-minute charts right now. SMCI is trying to deal with the 200, but all of the moving averages are right there together. So whenever SMCI pops, this is how I feel. And I remember what you said about earnings, but whenever SMCI, based on the setup of the moving averages, whenever it pops, it's going to pop. It's really going to go. What is the likelihood, Natasha, that it's going to drop more? That's my thing. We've been to hell. We've been to about $20 already. What's the likelihood that
Just
they take it lower than that?
fundamentally, I mean, so I can tell you, if they don't make earnings after this whole accounting scandal, it could go back to 20.
What's their history of? Is there? So wait, where's SMCI
Their
at?
history of earnings
What?
was really good until last quarter when we had to deal with this fuzzy accounting and accounting firms quitting and no pre-announcement and all of that.
But even given that, the E on TradingView is green, which tells me that they made earnings.
So
Did
they reported that they made earnings, and then all this fuzzy accounting when it was time to submit the forms.
mm,
So I don't know how much weight it beating earnings is going to carry until they have resolved their accounting issue from last quarter.
so here's what I distinctly remember. Um, what I distinctly remember is it Hindenburg Research? That was the name. Hindenburg
Yep,
Research has
short report.
gone out of business as a result of either that report or the Carvana report. But they've gone out of business. So I don't know
Mm.
if I value too much.
So you think they may have a dog in the fight? I mean, it was definitely market manipulation. The reports from Hindenburg for sure. That's what they do.
Hmm. You short on a company and you write a scathing article, and then I think that I remember reading that it was resolved. I don't know. I don't know.
No, so they have received an extension. So they had to do, there was like an extension process and all that other great stuff. And they missed their initial deadline, requested the extension. Then they had to get another extension after the accounting people quit.
Okay. I like AMD right now. I know I'm in some contracts somewhere. I'm probably going to, and they report this evening. Probably gonna grab
Yeah.
some more contracts on that. Um, to take it to, oh no, that's $2 a movement. I'm good. But let me look at a higher time frame because AMD is one of those beat down stocks that I could see having an explosive move. Yeah, I'm gonna double down on AMD. I could just see them having an explosive move off of all of the manipulation that has taken place in the media and with Nvidia's CEO. Um, and then I keep going
So
back to that 70.
what are you liking on AMD
As far as the
in terms of?
contract,
Yep.
let me give it a look.
And we're on a nice red candle, so it's probably a good entry. We're approaching the 11 o'clock hour.
Mm, so I'm looking. Um, March 21st, 1:30, which I think is well within the realm of possibility, is
Indeed,
let
it
me
is.
get back to the chart real quick. Look at the hourly, 4 hour. Oh, absolutely. It's about $4.30. But there are 29,000, almost 28,000 contracts open with 14,000 volume from today and a 32-cent delta. The 125, I like the 125, which is almost $6, but it's a 40-cent delta with 22,000. I don't like to do, I don't, and I think I saw you or I heard you say something earlier that was in line with what I'm about to say. I wouldn't want to take a 221 contract on this because if something goes awry, then you lose 60 to 80% of your premium and you don't, like you said, you don't have time to recover. So
Yep.
would I go out any further? I personally would not go out any further than 125, 130. Honestly, ideally for me, let me see what March 120 looks like. So I gave you guys 125. It's $5.70. Let's see. I think there are some people, right, who might be willing to. Let me clean my expiration dates up. Exclude. Only show. That's only show. That's another difference between you and I is you trade a lot more weeklies. And so you might want to look because I'm only looking at March 21st. And I find
Uh,
that there's value in looking at those weekly contracts. I think a lot of my problem is just I'm lazy. I'm like, I'm gonna get the monthly. Um,
See, I'm much more likely to do because, and so my logic here, right? My play is really on, in my mind, on QCOM rather than AMD. And the reason why, a couple of reasons why. So you have the implied volatility, obviously, of earnings. Um, for AMD that's coming tonight. Now, do I think it'll see a nice little pop? Absolutely, right before the close. And I usually use those opportunities to get out of stuff like that I'm holding, unless I have runners. But I also think that with QCOM's earnings being further out, but it's still being an earnings week, even if AMD misses, my premium is safer in QCOM, if that made any sense.
so let me tell you how that just changed my perspective. Um, so what I think that I will do, because I was actually looking at, and the implied volatility is sweet right now. It's right around on all of the contracts, not more than 70, but right between 50 and 65 for the most part. Um, So I'm thinking now about looking at a 221, 120, and just seeing what I get by the end of the day.
And you can absolutely do that. They usually jack the premium 30, 30, 15, with 15 or 30 minutes left to go. You normally see that big candle. But yeah, they usually pop right at the end of the day. Now, the problem is you have to remember to get out.
Depending on how many contracts I buy. The one, this is crazy. The 221 150 has 42,000 open interests, but I'm going for that 120.
Yep.
The 120 is $5.20. It has a 45 cent delta. 125 is 350. I'm gonna get a couple of these 120s and I'll just pay attention. I'll be mindful. And then I'm
Do you
done.
need a reminder at the end of the
You know,
day?
you shouldn't even have to ask me that. I absolutely need a reminder. But I'm done. After that, this is my last trade for the day to define what a
I'll probably start looking for some other entries on a couple of things. Probably about 2 o'clock. Let's see where the market is sitting then. Give everybody a chance to get back from lunch and all the other good things. Um, but yeah,
So that's one
got
thing
a
I have to
tiny.
remember is that bar chart is on a 15-minute delay. And so while bar chart has this contract at what the heck did I say? At $5.15, it is actually $7.55. Um okay. Now I should get filled. Days to expiration. Yes, I got filled. And so I may do some more at the end of the day. But for right now, I think I've entered about 6 different trades this morning. And I think that they will pay me well by the end of the day. It's 11:01. Um, and so let's hop off of here. And let me see. Did I not look at we looked at Nvidia. Let me just peek at SPY real quick. Um, but if you have time, SPY is back at the 200. I'm probably gonna get out of those contracts. Um,
Hmm.
Maybe not though. I have a 6:15 March 21st. And so I probably won't. Let's hop off and have a quick little business meeting if you have time.
I do. So just call my phone.
Nope, you gotta call my phone.
Okay, well then I will call your phone.